Mayor Pro Tem, Council, per your direction, we did reach out to a consultant, and we've been meeting with him, which is Bruce Shell, the last several days, and actually he just left here a few minutes ago. He had another engagement. We have been working each day on the budget. Our goal is for Tuesday evening to have something in front of you that's a comprehensive summary of the budget that will go through all the moving parts that we're still trying to work out now, personnel, pay study, and with the projects in the utility fund, where it would be irresponsible for me to put something in front of you now that isn't fully vetted, and I want to have that fully vetted and in front of you on Tuesday evening is what I'm suggesting. I talked to the mayor. He won't be here Wednesday. I was thinking Tuesday or Wednesday. He won't be here Wednesday, so I was thinking if Tuesday evening works.
Yeah, I think he said that the last Tuesday night he would be here for a Tuesday meeting.
Yep. Yes, sir. So that's what I'm hoping for. I initially planned to do a presentation and overview, and after talking to Bruce and Debbie, we decided probably it would be best. We don't want to muddy the water.
No.
We're on the right track. We're going to have a complete picture for you on Tuesday and make it very comfortable for you and the public to understand. So,
Okay. Any questions from the rest of the council? Steve?
Well, what I think I'm hearing you say is you're not having to go back to square one and rebuild everything and go back to all the department heads, but it's a matter of fine tuning some of those final questions that we had on what the COLA or the 401 or the different things, but you're not in there having to go back and add and subtract vehicles and M&O numbers and big projects.
that's exactly right. We did go back and talk to department heads Wednesday morning, right after the Tuesday council meeting, and all agreed that we're at this point. All department heads are comfortable with where we are. I think you're comfortable with where we are for the M&O. So there's a few other issues. The utility rates we're still looking at. The pay study and how to implement that we're still looking at. So I think we'll have a good plan for you come Tuesday that we can present and make it clear and easy to understand.
So you would anticipate having a presentation format that would be legible and coherent, that we could see on the screen, that the public could see, and we could follow along rather than having to scroll through 60 pages of line items. You would have a polished presentation.
Yes. I'm thinking,
So on Tuesday, we could preview it before we have to present it again at the 25th meeting.
right. Well, I'm hoping to get all your heads nodding on Tuesday.
Right.
And then on the 25th, it should hopefully be an easy meeting where we can.
I guess then I would ask if you would, whatever you're having that you're preparing to present to us Tuesday night, if someday midday Tuesday, if possible, you could get it out online, so that we have had a lot of people here at the last budget meeting. And rather than waiting until the third week of June to bring everyone back in as a public, I mean, we'll have that meeting, but if there's an
Send that
opportunity,
information.
yeah, let's get them a chance to look at it, what we're seeing, if that's possible.
Okay, I think we can,
Or would
maybe
it-
not the whole thing, but a summary document of what we're proposing.
I'd like to see that sent to us as well, if possible.
Yeah. I
Monday
would,
before noon.
Okay,
certainly, I'm not opposed to that, but I would emphasize that I'd like for us to all be doing like this before we send out something to the public. And
I
if we
agree.
send out before that, we may not have this. And I don't want to have any confusion. In other words, when we get it on Tuesday night and we agree with it, we can publish it on Wednesday. I would prefer that schedule, I think.
I agree. We do have several.
I mean, I'm just one person, so I see.
No,
a lot
I
over
agree
there.
with you, Tom. I mean, I'd like
But
us to be,
How about Steve?
Tuesday night, I'd like us to be pretty much in unity
Right.
before we go to our council
Well-
meeting to vote on it.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that would occur for me after Tuesday night's meeting. What I'm just saying is, if we have a meeting Tuesday night,
Right.
With everyone we had here last week that was prepared to look
Sure.
at some line items, if we're doing that again on Tuesday and people are here, how will they see that information? Will
And
it
the-
be-
Well, I mean,
It needs to be
they're,
presented.
it's an open meeting, so they certainly can come. I mean,
Besides being an
they
open-
knew that today we were gonna have this meeting, but they didn't come today. But I think if they choose to come, fine. I don't want to replay any
Last week.
confusion.
Right.
So,
And that's what I'm
I
asking
think
Ed, if he's
if
got a
they're-
presentation.
If they're coming, if anybody shows up and we have our discussion, we just have a civil discussion of it, and then we publish it the next day. I don't want to rush their process, because we need to be
On our
top
game.
drawer when we
Right.
come out this time. We don't want to have any hiccups.
Thank you.
Joanne?
So I agree with Steve. A simple, short, something to present. It was very embarrassing this past Tuesday from a resident standpoint. If you look everywhere online, social media news, it doesn't matter. Everybody pretty much said that. So if we aren't trying to be as transparent as possible, even if we haven't voted on anything, Tom, that we still need to have something that they can browse and
Well,
peruse
they
through.
can
But
see
hold on
it.
a second, don't cut me off.
Go ahead.
Is that we need to have something for them to look at, because they come in and they watch what we're doing, they have something tangible that they've had access to beforehand. It's going to make it a lot easier in showing them that where we are now in this past week, we're taking those steps forward to make sure we finalize that for that following week.
I think with the caveat that, put it out there with the caveat that council's gonna review it for its final formatting on the 23rd, or whatever that date was.
Right.
But I
And
do
I
think
agree.
the public,
If
it
you're-
will benefit the public if
If
they
you're
see it.
wanting something, depending on what detail you want out there, maybe we'll want to delay the Tuesday meeting if you're, depending on how much information you're wanting me to put.
Again, that's why I asked the question originally, Ed. I think what I heard you say is I don't think we need this,
Right,
okay? I mean, I've been looking at all these lines, we have 4 or 5 sets of this. That was the confusion, okay? I think we heard from a couple of residents, there was a particular line item they weren't comfortable with. Okay, we heard that had to do with a particular multi-use path. Other than that, I did not hear a lot of residents come in and challenge the budget and say, you've got
Right.
7 F-250s or whatever. So
Right.
I think the summary was the document we were looking for.
the budget meant, okay, I
So
think
get
I got you.
something with the, and I do think it would help, with the caveat that there may be some fine tuning done Tuesday night, but we're pretty close.
Right, I got
On
you.
Tuesday night. I mean, I think we still had our work cut out for us last week, because boiling this down into a presentation that we understood and we could explain to the public, as well as the public could follow along on the screen and see, that was the biggest problem. We haven't had a document that, when I go to Food Line and someone said, hey, how's the budget? That I can say, well, here's everything that's kind of in it, here's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a counter offer. Is it possible, you have to check with Bruce, if, as y'all get closer to what you need to present on Tuesday night, that you can invite each of us in to just sort of get a snapshot?
Yeah, maybe Monday,
I mean,
we
we
can schedule some time
individually,
for
so
you
we're not-
individually to stop by. That
Yeah, just
that
look
would be
into,
good.
we can look at it, and if there's anything that goes, oh, wait a minute, then
And
then
I
we'll
think-
be less likely to publish it, but if there's no hiccups from any of us, then we can go ahead and do that.
And I think that's what we talked about last week, was it was incumbent on each of us to stop by and see Ed and
Right.
And Bruce and say, this is what I was missing in the budget. Leanne had some specific questions
Okay.
about employees.
Right.
We wanted to- so
Well,
those-
and I talked to Ed this morning, and I was very pleased with his response. He's already got that information. I am interested in those 12 vacant positions, and if we fill or not fill, what does that put back in the reserve? So summary for me would be that.
Yeah.
It would be tax increase. It would be the water rates. Are we going to go to 10, or can we stay at 5? And what is our reserve balance at that point? That's what I would need. That's the overall summary that I need to see from here.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we could do that if you, of course, we'll prepare that for Tuesday, but if you stop by Monday afternoon, maybe we schedule some time for each of you, and we'll go
Yeah, if
through
you'll
those
just be in touch with
individual.
us and
Right,
hit a different time for us, that'd be great.
okay,
Mine will be, I'll be out of town earlier in the day, but I can get over here by 4.
I'm kind
5.
of fine to hear it Tuesday night, since I talked to you this morning, and I think you pretty much had it hammered out this morning.
Well, and I did too, but I want to have that one last look at it. So if we can all
Okay.
come in, I know Joe may not be able to be available. If 4 of us can, I feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
I mean, I know that you guys have been, you and Debbie and Bruce have been on this all day for days, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. They've been working hard. I just don't want, I want to make sure we have a smooth landing. So, any other comments or questions?
Yes.
Can we go away from the budget for 30 seconds?
Well, hold on.
Sure.
Let me just say one-
I'm sorry.
We don't have an agenda. So.
let me just say one last thing.
Just a quick, I'm sorry, go ahead. You know I can't hear that
I
far
know.
away.
It's okay. It's you're old.
Thanks.
Just kidding, Leanne. I love you. I think it would be very beneficial if we have a worst case scenario. Worst case, if we do have to raise taxes, if we didn't make utility 10%, and then where you're currently sitting at now, so that way we have that buffer zone of, hey, if it has to be this to fund the things that we need to versus it looks pretty good this way, we kind of have a gauge.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm sorry, Leanne, go ahead.
Leanne?
The only thing I wanted to ask Ed is we had a discussion this morning about the hiring of the employee for the, I call it the water window. I'm sorry, I know it has a title, but you told me that you would be able to let us know tonight if that employee was starting next week and how long before that window can be open to our citizens?
We do have a plan to, where we have the position hired, and that will be part of the budget, is asking for the billing supervisor to be funded in that, in the budget, and we're hoping to, and I actually didn't bring it in front of me because I wasn't going to go through the details, but it's later in June where we could open the window up for an expanded time. I think it was June 22nd, what we laid out, and that was based on Rachel doing training next week. She's out of town the following week, so we have the new person up front with Elisa the following week. Rachel doing training with her the next week, where we can then open up for additional hours.
So forgive me, let me ask you this question. So are you saying that Rachel's
Yana,
on vacation or?
This I think it's next week. She's here. Next week she's here. The week after she's on vacation.
I mean, it's kind of hard when we have nobody now to let somebody go on vacation when we have somebody that needs to be trained. Can she not be trained? Can the new person not be trained by anybody else? Or?
She will be up there learning, and she will have somebody with her. So we have another staff member that'll be up there with her. So she'll learn. She won't learn how to reconcile everything that Rachel does.
So can the window be open while this person is being trained?
Yes.
What I'm getting at is can we open the window Monday through Friday, 8 to 5?
Not yet.
That
Not
is the
yet.
first contact that our public has, our citizens have with Town Hall, and I think they need that service.
Right.
So what I would ask is, have we reached out to the rest of our staff to see if anybody feels that maybe they have the flexibility to help out during time frames? That way we can do that. And then we can slide a temp somewhere else to justify for that. Because I have a feeling that if you reach out to staff and says, hey, in order for this to happen, we might need other people to step up. You might have a few that raise their hands and say, hey, for a week or two, I can slide in and help you guys out.
We've
They-
exhausted that.
Have you?
That
Are you saying there's
option.
nobody who knows how to do that besides Rachel?
No, we do have somebody planned while Rachel's out to be with the new person. So we have found somebody on staff that can do what Joe Dan's talking about doing.
Right.
But
So-
we can't open next week, is what you're saying?
Full time.
Next week, not with, and you're trying to keep this person trained, motivated, and doing the right thing with that drawer. It is extremely complicated. You're not going to be able to do that. We need a little bit of time to do some training with the
Well,
person.
how do you train when the window's closed?
They're learning the reports. They're learning how to reconcile the drawer, and they're watching. Basically sitting with Rachel and learning what she does every day, which there's a lot of reporting and management to the drawer. So that's going to be occurring. Before, what we were doing is spending a lot of time overtime, and they'll do that too. There's training that will, in the past, we've done on the weekends and nights. That's a lot of overtime money, but if we have to do it, we have to do it.
I understand, and I'm not going to argue with you about how to train, but myself as a business owner, the best way to train is let the situations occur in front of them and train them at that time.
No doubt, no doubt. And she'll get hands-on experience while
Hands-on, that's exactly right.
while Rachel's not there. So, but she'll need some downtime with Rachel to train as well. So it'll be both.
A good recommendation would probably be hop onto the Facebook page or the website and say, hey, Tuesday this was addressed. This following Tuesday it's going to be a week. Just bear with us because it may be a week more, which is going to come out to about 10 days or 14. And we're going to do everything we can to try to make sure that's back open full time. Just understand the process of the training is going to, that and vacation is going to hinder it a bit.
I do have a schedule, and I got sidetracked, but I think it's on my desk, so I can vet that a little more. I want to look at it one more time with billing, and
Yeah, you want to
and
make
put
sure
that
that
out.
whatever you publish is
Communicate it.
going to happen.
Right.
And not, plus, I mean, it's a new employee. You want to make sure that she learns the rope and there's no hiccups before you, if you open the thing and she's not ready, that's going to cause more problems than not.
Not if she's not by herself, but everybody can have different philosophies on how to train. You know, I get it. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've been in private business for 25 years.
I
I put them
understand.
up there and I have sit in the back and I say, ask me a question when you have a question. As soon as somebody walks in, I watch you do it. But that's just how I do it. I don't know how Joe Dan does it in his business, but that's how I do it. I don't train them and then wait for the business to open. I open the business and
Right.
train them as we go.
Well, I'm trusting that Ed is knowledgeable enough that this task is more complicated, that it's going to take more training because it is more complicated.
We learned that because we did try some temps, and it was very difficult. It's not something you're just going to pick up in a day or two. It's complex enough where, and what ends up happening is, it will take hours and hours to reconcile your drawer if you,
Make
and
a
that'll be
mistake.
more work for Debbie's staff on the back end if we,
We don't have to agree, but that's fine.
right. Well, I still need to get you that plan. So I'll
Right.
Okay.
Anything else? Steve, do you have,
I'm good.
Leanne, do you have anything? Joanne? Well, I guess at this,
You didn't even give me a chance.
I'm
Skip,
sorry.
skip over JD.
Go ahead. I'm trying to give you plenty of chances.
I think you gave him one last week.
Ed, I want to say thank you. I know I said this offline the other night, but you're sliding back into a position for your second time in less than a year. I know sometimes it's cumbersome and it's not as easy, and sometimes you might want to say hell with it, but you step up to the plate. You did a great job last time. I believe in you 100%. I think you'll do it again this time. And as we move forward to eventually find the person to take the reins, I hope you just continue to do what you do. And residents are pretty pleased with how you do it, so thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you, Jenny.
I hope you put your name in the hat.
And when will we know if you're going to do that or not?
Right now, I'm not planning on doing that, but I am talking to my family about that and my family here. So it's
Awesome.
something I'm still.
Meaning what?
Putting your hat in the ring is what he meant.
That's what
Yeah.
it sounded like.
That is what it sounded like.
It did, yeah.
Applying for the position.
But of course, the first step is we need a budget. So,
Right.
I haven't met Bruce. Tell Bruce I said thank you. Hopefully we'll meet him this upcoming week.
I'm hoping that you can start Tuesday or Wednesday during the day that we can get together and.
Or I'll
Yeah.
try to reach out to you
sounds
Monday.
good.
So what
Okay.
time on Tuesday are we
I
having
this, I
this
think
meeting?
we were talking about it at Tuesday, that would go at 6 o'clock again on Tuesday. That would be the 18th.
18.
18th, so we'll
25th is the one we've already got scheduled. This would be, we wouldn't conclude this meeting, we'd just carry it over to
recess this one.
recess
until-
this one, right? Is that what we do?
That is what we talked about.
Yeah, okay.
We
So,
would put out notices that this would be the final public budget work session.
right,
On the 25th?
No, we want to have the public hearing and vote on the
25th.
25th, but I think what
Yep.
we would like to do is get the word out that this will be the final.
that they're welcome to
public
come on
work
that, on
session.
the 18th,
But
right?
it's still a work session.
And if we have enough people, then we could open it up for them to have questions if they want.
So I type in budget into my calendar, budget workshop, and it says 2, 3, 4, 5. It already has all these dates in there. I have to, sorry. We've had a few of these.
Yes, we have.
20.
Okay?
All right. Well,
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to make a
Debbie, thank
motion that we recess this meeting until 6 o'clock on Tuesday, June 18th. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.